Hey, this is Mr. Coker with Geometry Lesson 4.2, using the Pythagorean Theorem to classify triangles. The last video I made, I mentioned the Pythagorean Theorem. I talked about it. And it says that one leg of the triangle squared plus the other leg of a right triangle squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So when we have a right triangle, one leg squared plus the other leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. Now use this example, 3, 4, 5. This is the classic 3, 4, 5 right triangle. And if we do 3 squared plus 4 squared, we get 5 squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. Excuse my little bit sloppy handwriting. And 25 squared is also 25. I'm going to put check marks on both sides and say it's even because it's a right triangle. Both sides should equal one another. And if you come across something like this, it's of course a right triangle. But what if one side is bigger or less than the other? What if one side's bigger than the other, one side's less than the other? Let's say instead of 3, 4, 5, let's say that it's 2, 4, 5. It's a 2, 4, 5 triangle. Well, if you're astute, you're going to notice, well, this is obviously not a right triangle because 3, 4, 5 worked. Well, let's look this over. We can actually see, is this going to be acute or obtuse, or right, by using the Pythagorean Theorem. So in this case, let's work it out the same way. 2 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. 2 squared, of course, is 4. 4 squared is still 16. And 5 squared, of course, is 25. 4 plus 16 is 20. But you notice that is less than 25. That does not equal 25. It's not a right triangle. Well, which side's bigger? Well, obviously this is going to be our bigger side. The hypotenuse side now is the bigger of the sides. That means it is an obtuse triangle. If you look at this rule, which you see it up here, if the hypotenuse squared is greater than the first leg squared plus the second leg squared, it is an obtuse triangle. And in this one, that is the case. So we know we can classify this triangle as obtuse. Okay. Give you time to digest this or pause it if you need to, because I'm going to erase it and do the final example. Especially, it'll be easier if my markers don't roll off here. Okay, let's say instead of 3, 4, 5, let's see now I have 6, 4, 5. Well, I'm going to do the same thing. 6 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. Well, of course, it doesn't equal it. 6 squared is 36. 4 squared is 16. And 5 squared is still 25. That's not 52, of course. It's a 5 squared. 16 plus 46. What am I saying? 16 plus 36 is 52. And which one's bigger, 52 or 25? It doesn't take much to figure that out. It's a 52. Therefore, the leg side is larger, making this acute. So there you have it. Three types of triangles that you can classify using the Pythagorean theorem. If the two sides are equal, it is a right triangle. If the hypotenuse side is greater, it is obtuse. And if the leg side is greater, it is acute. Equal, it's a right triangle. Leg side is greater, it's acute. Hypotenuse side is greater, it's greater than. Remember to square the numbers, and remember this handy little chart. So, thanks for watching.